Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Accountant. It is episode 131. It might be a bank holiday Monday, but we are once again here around the microphones. I mean, there's less chocolate on this bank holiday, isn't there, to distract us? But yes, we are here. As always, I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Aaron. Aaron and Patrick, how are you? And how's your weekend been?
Well, I'm going to go with the week this time round.
The week.
This time, last week, I was in London. I was sat in my hotel that I could stretch like this and touch each floor. But honestly, for the price I paid, and we've paid for some ridiculous hotels in London, right? For the price I paid, highly recommend a Z hotel. Can't complain. It's clean. It's convenient. Like literally, if you needed to go to the toilet, you would literally just roll one way or the other and you're sat on the toilet. It was that, it was that sort of environment. It was really good. But we went from there to the ICAW's little conference, all on MTD. Masterclass by a friend of the show, Sage Downing, Chris Downing from Sage, showing the world how you sell a product without actually selling the product. You know what I mean? By like actually giving.
You demonstrated expertise and functionality, and that was enough to make you go, "Oh, okay, I'm interested."
Yeah, I felt really bad for the others because he was number one. Like he got to do number one of the product ones, and then followed suit from there was the was a different approach. Let's put it that way from the other vendors. Yeah, exactly. And the cardinal sin of going, now I know it's your dinner break coming up, so I'm not going to let this thing, but then mention it 5 to 6 times, and then was 10 minutes overrun. So yeah, masterclass. Round of applause for Chris. I got to sit on stage with Rebecca Benningworth as well, so that was like a tick on my little
royalty.
Yeah, brilliant. And then PQ Awards afterwards, which was a very, very cool event. I've never even heard of the PQ Awards before, like as in the awards night or anything. But yeah, I highly recommend it. And they have a podcast category. So a bit of a public service announcement out there. We didn't know about this, but there was a podcast one there. So if you are this time next year, if you could give us a bit of a shout out. We all sat there and said, like, this is it. How are we going to get Ask the Accountant Network involved this time next year? So that was good. And then from a weekend point of view, the Formula One. Brilliant Formula One, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. My favourite part about it had to be the track parade where they're all on
Formula One Lego cars.
Yeah. I have every one of those as well. I've not built them yet, but I have them all ready in boxes, ready to build them out. So I need to sit down and give myself that luxury of going down and building those. But yeah, it was good. It was a really, really good week and really enjoyed it. Yep. What about yourself, Jan? How's your week and weekend been?
Yeah, I mean, I started my bank holiday early. I went for a working lunch on Friday afternoon, which resulted in copious amounts of red wine and whiskey. So I started my bank holiday slightly early, but that was good. So yeah, just nice to catch up with clients and stuff like that. And then the week before, the whole week was just busy as always. Lots of different things, plate spinning as always. And then a chilled weekend with the occasional aroma of whiskey coming through my nose. It's like, when you've smelt like you've been in like a smoky environment and you can smell smoke for a few days later. Yeah, it's the same if you sniff a lot of whiskey. Same happens. But yeah, we've had a chilled weekend and watched the F1, which was a fantastic race. Very happy with that result of the McLaren 1-2. So very happy indeed with that.
Yeah, we just need to swap the drivers around, don't we? Just to keep
I'm not convinced Norris has got what it takes to be a champion.
I 100% convinced he has. It's just
pressure gets to him every time. Oscar called us a cucumber.
Or was it Max Verstappen being Max Verstappen? I think,
Yeah, but Oscar handles Max. Norris doesn't.
It was a mistake by Max that was what he got through. So we'll see. Look, we're only quarter of the way through, right? We just need to make sure that it doesn't get a huge gap, that it all becomes over. We want this all the way to the last race, don't we? That's what we want as a McLaren fan. That's what we want. So
definitely. Brilliant. Oh dear. I think we've ruined the race for Stephanie. Looking at the comments.
Watch it.
That's easy for not watching
I think
it
she was at a
live.
wedding or something. It's her fault.
You got a mobile phone device. You can watch it at the wedding table, right?
Just tell them I'm not going to your wedding till the Formula One's over. All right.
Or I'm going to sit there. I'm going to watch it on my phone, and you're not going to complain at me.
That's why the Meta glasses were perfect for me. You can
Yes.
have them on discreetly, listen to the race, have it in a little corner. Perfect. Anyway, let's go to our community. Go for
I was just going to say, based on that, let's go to our community. So, good morning to Paul, first in this morning. Good morning to Kirsty. Hope everyone is well, and to you. Sam says, happy bank holiday. Happy bank holiday, Sam. I saw you were exhibiting at a escape rooms event, so let us know how that went. Stephanie's found us on LinkedIn, only to have her F1 race spoiled.
Which makes sense, because for the first time ever, the Instagram family actually got the intro, because I was actually early to press the button. So good morning to our Instagram family with Amy there, Flying High Finance, no expense, and Steph was talking in there as well. Go for it.
Brilliant. Good morning to Juliet. Kirsty says, congratulations to Tim CICB. I had voted for Ask the Accountant Network.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kirsty. And yeah, congratulations to Tim and his team.
What an award. They were so made up. And I think what also helped them or made it worthwhile, because obviously for them, they've got to fly from Guernsey right over there. I think they nipped Jersey on the way, because obviously that's the better island, right? So they nipped there first, get the ambience of Jersey, and then they carry on to the UK. He's going to love that. But what I think really made it up for them was they got to see Grace win as well, and we're all good friends with Grace, so it was great. Congratulations to Grace.
Yep.
Took my award away from me, but it's all fine. We're having what you call it, a friendly debate about it. It's all good. No, but she fully deserved that. But for Tim as well, obviously, I think there was a bit of pride there, because that was his team's award, right? Like, as much as he is great at it, it's more to do with his team, of how they've been able to embrace TikTok and everything else. But I think what really was a cherry on top for them was I want to say Editor's Choice Award or something like that. There was a basically like a not a secret award, but like a on the night award.
Yeah.
And it was for the two founders of ICB. So
nice.
Yeah, they got to go up there. Gary and I always forget what his wife's called. But Gary and I'm sure someone in the comment will tell us, went up to get this special editors award of contributions to the industry and all that sort of stuff, and that was a complete surprise. So yeah, I think that was like cherry on top for them, so it was great to see.
Brilliant. Kirsty, Stephanie says we've built 4 so far: McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Kick Sauber.
Kick Sauber's an odd choice to go next, isn't it?
You're not
Paul
working on the
field. Personally, it'll be McLaren, Mercedes, Williams, Ferrari, all of them out there, and then maybe at the very end I'll just because I've got to, I'll finish off a Red Bull maybe. That's how I'd do it.
Prefer to leave it in parts.
Yeah, smashed up against the wall somewhere.
Kirsty said she finished her latest Lego group car yesterday. Classic Nigel Mansell one. Nice.
Love that.
Stephanie says spoiler, but there was no signal, and so she only got to see the first lap, which you missed a lot.
Yeah, it was good.
The result, but it's worth watching.
I don't know if it's any better now, but Formula One's always been one of those that watching it back the whole race has always been a chore. Like Now TV never really show the full race. Like you've got the highlights package, haven't you? But yeah, I don't know why they don't just make it as a on-demand option that you can just re-watch if you want to.
Yeah, that would be good. Morning from Amy, and Gary's wife's name is June. So congratulations to Gary and June Carter for their contribution award. And Sam says the Escape Conference event went super well, thanks. Excited to travel across the land, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland too, to visit to visit all my new clients. Fantastic.
Nice, well done.
Brilliant. Right, well, let's where do we start this week?
I know, right?
Oh, Christ, what a week. first of all, public service announcement in the fact that HMRC have postponed the P11D changes and benefits on payroll benefits changes that were due to come in. So they've been postponed another year, is my understanding. I didn't really see why. Did you see why anywhere?
Apparently, it's, they've not got the buy-in from the vendors, is what we were led to believe, because they're killing. Are they not killing the HMRC's payroll tool at the same time? Isn't that kind of part and parcel of it? They want to kind of get rid of that. I mean, we were only saying the other, like, was it last week or maybe the week before, how 2026 is going to be a monster year for accountants in terms of changes.
And now put this on top as well.
Yeah, it was going to be like the straw that could break the camel's back for a lot of people, right? And because I don't think a lot of people have really grasped how much of a disruption this could be. The idea that P11Ds, which at the moment are one of those things where we just have to deal with once a year and we forget it once a year and forget. Now we've got to try and figure it out on a month by month basis and adjustments and everything else. And my hope, and I don't think this will ever happen, but my hope was that this was a chance for the payroll vendors to go, right, well, hold my beer. If you want to do a P11D, then tell us the name of the card, tell us how long you've used it for, and we'll calculate it for you.
Yep.
But I fear that, in its current iteration, a lot of the vendors were basically just going to say, right, well, you tell us what the value is and we'll put it onto the thing.
On your payslip.
Yeah, and that's never going to be enough for us, right? Like, the complicated bit is, what is the value in the first place? Like, what is the beneficial value? Like, that's the tricky bit of any P11D calculation. And there are some really cool tools out there to help you do that, but they're hidden away in P11D modules, or do you know what I mean? Like, it was never going to be a nice, slick way of doing this, where ideally for us to really get this to work, we wanted to be able to have an easy way to extract the data. If you've already put it into your FML, general ledger, whatever you want to call it, bookkeeping solution of choice, is there a way that your payroll provider could like grab that data and help you kind of bring it? That's what we need. That's innovation like that, isn't it, to really make this work? So I'm glad it's delayed, because I feel like it was almost going to be a shadow drop that I think a lot of people would be caught off aware of, even though this is the second delay of it, right?
Yep.
But as we always say in the payroll world, HMRC need to give them some chance to innovate. Like, they're just constantly being thrown compliance. They kind of need a chance to go out there and wow us, don't they? Because like we always say, it's the payroll vendors that we don't really have that shining star there. There's not really something that you go, oh wow, that they're doing
Best
amazing.
of the best.
Yeah, it's a tricky, and we know why. Like, we bring it up time and time again on the show, don't we? They're always fighting about around compliance. They're always trying to catch the tail. Like, that's all the payroll vendors are really doing, is trying to catch their own tail at this point in time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's definitely the right thing to do, to delay it, because I don't think anyone was at all ready for this one. I think this one would have been that, like I said, that straw that broke the camel's sort of back sort of idea.
My concern is, once again, we've delayed another announcement from HMRC, or another change, sorry, from HMRC, and then they wonder why people are so dismissive of MTD it, and assuming that it's going to be scrapped, it's going to be delayed. I doubt it now, because like, clients are now receiving letters about it from HMRC. So one of my clients, even though we've already sent emails, even though I've had a conversation with this guy, got a letter, typical HMRC letter, like, he panicked, sent it to me on Saturday and said, oh my God, what does this mean? Do I need to redo anything that I've already filed? It's like, no. Remember those emails we sent you? Remember that conversation we had? This is just them telling you that. Oh, okay. But yeah, so like, letters are going out from HMRC now. It's unlikely that they're going to change. They're going to backtrack on this one, because last time they backtracked on MTD, letters hadn't even gone out.
Yeah,
like, there was no public communication. It was just industry communication.
Yeah, and with the threshold as well. I mean, you'd imagine that it's at the right level, right? So I can't imagine them backing out of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think though this delay harms MTD though, because
it's another change in the same year of the first year of MTD? Yeah,
but the whole premise of MTD is, let's give our clients real-time information on their self-employed income, right? So if they do have a second job, and you know, because a lot of my clients who are going to be affected about this, the reason they're self-employed is it's because it's their part-time side hustle, right?
Yep.
So actually, P60s and payroll being real-time information is huge for them, because in theory they've not got this yet, but the premise is that let's bring in that glorious data. Let's give a client a real up-to-date version of what their tax position is going to be. Yeah. Let's report on a quarterly basis what your self-employed income is going to be, but at the same time, let's see what your employed income was at this point in time, or your rental income, or whatever it's going to be, and let's give a really precise calculation each quarter. That's that gold star, and that golden goose we're trying to get to, isn't it? That's what MTD gives us. That's the beauty of it. Let's forget the surprises. Let's have real-time information on your tax position. But if we're still waiting for P11Ds. And that's one of the reasons why we can't rely on HMRC tools at the moment to download P60s into our tax return software. I don't know if you've tried it on tax
Not yet. Most employers haven't even issued P60s yet for my clients. Never mind, obviously we've issued all of our payroll clients their P60s. We do it on the day of the final pay run, not an issue. But most of our clients that are employed or stuff, not through us, haven't had their P60, so can't give us their tax returns. I mean, that should have stopped years ago.
P11Ds as well, right?
Yeah, and then even more waiting for P11Ds. Yeah. So yeah, because I knew P60s haven't been issued for many, I haven't even bothered to try the HMRC income portal stuff and pulling that into my software. I didn't use it at all last year. It's just easier to ask the client. I don't trust what HMRC store half the time. I've got clients whose employees have still got funny tax codes 6 months on since they moved jobs, and everything's been done right on both sides of the old job and the new job, and HMRC is still convinced they've got 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And it's if that's the data they're convinced they've got, why am I pulling that into my tax returns?
Yeah. I mean, we did use it only because A, it's easier, right? And it is a good way of checking. But B, that was our best tool of getting people to send their information in, because nothing scares them more than, oh, here's your draft accounts based on what we've got. And look how much tax you've got to pay. Now, if you work with us a little bit here and actually provide us some information that we're asking for, might be able to do something about that. So yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because we want that ideal world where that data is just available to us. Let us do our job. That's all we're asking from HMRC's point of view, right? Give us the tools to do our job. And I feel like this P11D was going in that right direction. It was one of those pain points that we had, and yes, it's going to be a nightmare for us. Yes, it's going to be more work for us to do yet again. But at least on the flip side, meant we got real-time information on P11D, which I think is important to try and get right. It's one of those really complicated areas for clients to understand, and people who, especially if they're not in the tax return system, and their tax codes are going all over the place, right, and everything else. So this was an opportunity to try and fix that. So
Stephanie says, are we even surprised that they've delayed it? Yet another thing. I'm happy that they are dragging them out and almost strip feeding the changes. The problem is they're not. But this is now a major amount of changes all in 2026. Because you've got ACSP coming in.
Yep.
Clients can't file their own stuff on Companies House website anymore. So that's going to start impacting next year when they come to do the next set of accounts.
Yep.
They MTD, it rolls out next year to a subset of our clients. Now you're putting benefit in kind into next year as well.
Well, the year after now, but yeah.
Year after, yeah. But we're in for a tough few years here of changing process adaptation and stuff. So yeah, none of it can afford to keep being pushed forward and delayed anymore. And Paul says delaying it could be worse. The MTD threshold dropping to 30k will hit a huge portion of sole traders compared to the 50k. Most, I imagine, won't be using accountants and may be looking for one. Yeah.
And for us, that second section, that second year of MTD is our biggest impacted year by far. Like, yeah, that's the one where a lot of our clients are going to get affected. So,
and in the next year, like, I don't know if you're seeing it already. We're already seeing a slight trickle of this. Of now that they've changed what a small business turnover definition is, and the audit threshold, we've now got bigger clients sniffing around for quotes and stuff from people that they wouldn't have normally worked with because they no longer need audits.
Yeah.
So like all of a sudden that we're already starting to see that by this time next year when all their year ends have come up and they're getting around to it, they're like, oh, hang on a minute. I don't need an audit. Why am I using these expensive accounting bodies
100%.
when I don't need to? So it's coming at us from all angles. I'm still convinced there's a huge talent shortage and we're just not talking about it. And governing bodies are just going, it's not an issue.
Hunt solved the issue though, and he said, don't bother training to be an accountant because AI will do it all for you. So
yeah, it didn't help.
No, yeah.
But then maybe it does help because everyone wants to play with AI.
Yeah, true.
Why did you become an accountant? Oh, well, I heard it was all going to be AI. But yeah, so that's the first article, public service announcement of P11Ds being postponed. Aaron, how would you cope if you had no practice management software from Thursday through to Sunday morning?
Technically, I've been through that. Technically, that's exactly why I had to move from my previous practice management solution. But yeah,
but that wasn't just
tell everyone what happened, because
that was just your client portal you lost, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's main functionality of it, right? From a client, that's
this
what
was
the client needs.
All functionality. You couldn't even log into the bloody thing.
Yeah.
So on Thursday morning, Center went down. I mean, the warning on the website was all about security licenses and stuff. So not only did it go down and you couldn't get in, people were very concerned that data being lost or unsecure, which rightly so. Practice management tools hold a lot of sensitive data. But yeah, so Center went down Thursday morning and they finally got it back up and running yesterday morning, minus a couple of features, which they're still working on. But they're like PDF viewers and stuff. It's nothing groundbreaking.
And is this just Center or is this Iris Elements as well?
Just Center.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's the legacy product.
Right.
But yeah, so as you can imagine, not very many happy Center users out there about that. And the problem is Center users have got a real challenge ahead of them, right? Center's obviously getting, like, I'd say it goes down once a month at least, based on what I see on social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes for half an hour, sometimes for 3 days. But Center users are going to have to migrate at some point somewhere, whether it goes to Iris Elements or whatever. The problem is no one offers the level of functionality that Center do. Center is like an Excel spreadsheet. Like, if you know what you're doing with Excel, it can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
If the best you know about Excel is equals sum brackets, cell brackets, then actually there's only so much colon. So yeah.
You missed something, but never mind.
If you only know that on an Excel spreadsheet, then you're not going to get very far and see the true value of it. I mean, I have these conversations weekly with Center users, past and present. In their mind, it's everyone else's problem that those tools don't work like that. But actually, if Center's going to disappear for 3 days, it's becoming a you problem. And I'd rather slightly reduce functionality than no functionality at all.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but Iris Elements, did it bring feature parity completely for Center, or?
I've not looked at Iris Elements, but the overwhelming feedback I'm getting is no.
Yeah. By the sound of it, if it's such a convoluted solution, because by the sound of it, they've rebuilt it from scratch for Iris Elements then, and they've kind of, yeah. So you kind of expect them to have had to make some tough decisions on their development of that, right? Yeah. Like what do they bring over, what don't they? Yeah, interesting.
But yeah,
There isn't, like you said, there's an over reliance, and rightly so, on our practice management solutions, right? Like without it, I know you're saying that I only lost my portal, so but that's catastrophic to us. Like during a month end, like we needed that functionality so that we
from an approvals point of view and stuff completely. But at least your team was still able to see their deadlines and get on with some of their work.
True.
More than these poor folks have been able to do, especially when you're coming up to a bank holiday weekend and a VAT deadline the day after you get back.
Yeah. Good point.
So yeah, tough few days for the centre users out there. So yeah, we'll see how that continues to go on forwards.
There'll be a subset of people with the who are the accountants, right? Who are the Excel users, who are like, this is why my practice management solution is always on Excel.
Excel, blah, blah, blah.
I don't remember Excel going down anytime soon.
There's that one time. But yeah. Speaking of things that don't seem to have been well received, QuickBooks recertification. Let's just put it this way. I've told my team not to waste their time. So, Aaron, I don't think you can talk much about this without getting into more trouble. So, anyone that's been looking at LinkedIn or anything. So last week, QuickBooks relaunched their certification for their annual recertification process, where you can recertify as both an advisor and a pro advisor, or pro advisor and pro advisor advanced, whatever we're calling it. I think it looks like they've gone for level 1, level 2 now, which means nothing to anybody outside the accounting world. Yeah, like level 1, level 2, like they've gone too far with the gamification there, but never mind. So it got relaunched, and based on what I'm seeing on LinkedIn and my team's feedback, because I said a couple of years, was it last year? Was the first year I didn't do it. Basically, I don't spend enough time in QuickBooks to justify me needing to recertify anymore. And I take exactly the same approach to all the other certifications. Like, I don't spend enough time on the day-to-day bookkeeping work for me to need to recertify. Like, most of my time spent analyzing reports and maybe doing the odd journal. And my reporting is through SIF Analytics, and I can post a journal. I don't need to recertify to remember how to post a journal. I've got bigger problems than that. It's my credits and debits I can't work out. But that aside, the angle has always been recertify, learn all the latest features and functionality in QuickBooks. By recertification, you get to stay on the pro advisor directory, etc. So yeah, like, if you're using a software all day, every day, it's important to keep up. Completely agree. And that's why I spend a lot of time watching chat GPT videos on YouTube, because I'm trying to stay up to date with all the latest new tools and stuff. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have gone well. So there's only videos that you couldn't speed up or slow down. There's no reading materials. There's no PDF guides. And the videos didn't seem to cover all the topics asked in the questions, which seems like a bit of a flaw. But on top of that, didn't really cover any of the new stuff either. So yeah. So a few people took to LinkedIn. Alison Edwards called them out for some accessibility issues and for neurodivergency and stuff like that. And fair enough. Like, I know when I sit and watch a video, if it's a tutorial thing, I like to put it on 1.2, 1.5 times and just get on with it. Because I will switch off otherwise, because it gets too long and dull. I know there's plenty of people, just because of the amount of help content we create for Engager, that prefer a written step-by-step manual rather than a video. but none of that was provided. So yeah, Alison Edwards went on to LinkedIn and challenged QuickBooks about their accessibility and consideration of neurodivergency, etc. And then Steph Marshall, who's in the comments, went on there and pointed out the fact that you told me it was going to be available at 9 o'clock. It wasn't available till 10 o'clock, and your communications kept changing. You didn't cover the stuff that you're asking in the exam in the video, because in previous years there used to be a PDF handout that I could sit and open book exam and answer my questions by referencing back to the textbook. So yeah, I mean, what can you say, Aaron?
Yeah, it's a tough one for me on this one. What I can say is why the name changed, first of all. So it was an awkward one where QuickBooks Advanced, the product, got released, and then we had an advanced certification. So that's why the name change had to happen. And trust me when I say they went back and forth on different options and everything else and settled for level 1, level 2. I don't think they'll ever find the perfect name right. Like, it was always going to be a really tough one, but you can see why they changed it, right, and why they moved it over. So that's cool. Yeah, so that's why they made a change. I still believe in recertification. Like, for me, recertification is the best thing to happen to these sort of softwares, right? If you're watching my channel, if you're watching our sister podcast, right, in our network, QuickBooks Labs, right, you're going to be up to date with all the latest updates and everything else. But let's be honest, most people don't watch those resources.
I don't. So the only reason I've told my team not to waste their time with this recertification is because it's been so poorly done. I agree with the principle of recertification. If you're using a tool all day, every day, you need to be kept up to date with it, and you don't. You want to know the latest efficiency gains and stuff. But it's so important that when busy people are asked to do something and carve out time in their day for something, that it's been done well.
Yeah.
And they don't walk away feeling like they've just wasted their time. And in a few cases, they're going to have to come back in a few days' time to resit the exam because they weren't given the answers in the first bloody place.
Yeah, I get that. And look, the team behind it are amazing. Like, this was the quality that they can produce and everything else. That they are such a good team. And the reason that it's a different recertification than others is because there's been a huge change in the qualification, right? We've gone from advanced and core to level 1, level 2, and there's been a lot of changeover in what it is. And the reason for that is I want to make them more impactful, right? Like, level 1 needs to be at a particular level, and that meant some of the advanced stuff from the previous periods have come into it, and there's opportunities to bring in that. So the reason recertification was different this year was because it was a bridging year, and we were, the premise was trying to bridge the gap that if you were core and advanced, well, what did you miss that's now been brought into level 1 and level 2? And and if because you're going to get a level 2 certification now, but you never took the level 2 exam. So what was the gaps? And like, I completely get that premise like that.
But why was that not the preface given to us? Why? There's nothing sensitive about that information. I hope there's not, otherwise you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's nothing wrong with being open and honest with users, going, look, guys, we are migrating our recertification process.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a crossover we need to do. This is the long-term goal. This is what it's going to look like next year. But for this year, we've just got a bit of a hybrid going on. Where was the open and honesty about that?
Yeah, fair play.
And if they had, everyone would have given them a couple of inches to live by.
And I think my personal view on it, and this is nothing, you can't come back at me on this one, PR team, if you are watching, but my personal view on it, and not that's the accountant.
You're not allowed your own opinion, sir.
But my personal opinion is that this was a year where QuickBooks needed that positivity, and the beauty of it is the product is in a positive place. Yes, people like me will criticize it for not doing XYZ, right? But I'm uber sensitive on the updates, and there's some updates that have happened this year that I've picked up on that no one else will, right? And 99% of their user base will never even know about it, but I'm holding them account to that. But in return, like I've done a 2025 unofficial recertification video that goes out tomorrow, right? Like I've done that, and I'm overly impressed of how good the updates are. Like the way I'm selling this year is that yes, it's a bit of a fallow year because you can tell from a QuickBooks point of view, Intuit Assist is their main push going forward, right? That is where all the resources go in, and rightly so, right? This is, once in a lifetime opportunity to change the face of accounting software, bookkeeping software for us going forward. So I get that. Let's put the resources there. That does mean, though, that from a product point of view, we don't expect to get as much innovation coming through because, like in Formula One, right? 2026 is where that resource is going into for the new changes and the newness, right? But I do, there was 20 plus updates I generally think are worthwhile people understanding and people knowing. And it's just a shame that this was a year we couldn't celebrate the product. We couldn't go and say, look how amazing all these updates are. A couple of them are literally let me sleep at night changes, right? They were those important ones. And for me, it's like we're building the foundations before we start building the skyscraper that is Intuit Assist, right? We're getting those foundations right. We're putting them into there. And I compare it to, to free agents of the world, right? I still do the recertification for free agent because I'm still waiting for them to tell me something so that I can go, oh, you know what? When I'm talking to this client, I can now confidently say that, this software is right for them. That's why I see recertification out of it. It helps me understand where those previous gaps are or previous pain points may now have been fixed, or where those innovations are coming along that can help us with a particular client. That's why I like still doing recertification, even though I don't technically do accounts as much anymore or get involved in it as much anymore. But I'm still the business advisor, right? Like I'm still talking to clients. I'm still trying to make sure they're on the right package and they're on the right version. And I feel like recertification is by far the best way to get us confidence and bring that. And let's be honest, at this point in time with QuickBooks, we need that confidence, right? There's so much bad, negative energy at the moment with everything that's going on with the pricing and the forced upgrades and all that a lot, right? That we can talk until we're black and blue. But if you just let the product shine and you let the product go, wow, look how cool this is. Look at this nice new shiny toy, right? Like that's what helps us get confidence, isn't it? That's why me and you love playing around with the tech. And I think it's the promise of the next new cool tool or the next new cool innovation. And recertification was always that. And that's why I was so proud of being involved in recertification in previous years. That was, if you talk about like what my most proudest part of my career has been to date, training recertification was way up there, maybe even number one. Like, I love the whole idea of just going, look how amazing this product is. Look how, wow, what a great job the product team's done on this. And they've done a good job this year. I just don't feel like we're celebrating it because we were forced to go into a different route. And I say we, it's not a we, it's it's the team, like they've gone down this different route. And I just feel like it's a little bit of a shame because we had so much to celebrate. And like you said, in the end, it's come to a point where, okay, there's this recertification. It's not really wowed me. I'll send a few people on when really we wanted to go, we've got to do recertification. Like, look at what this cool feature that does this, this, and this, and because that's the best way to teach them, isn't it? And get through. So I'll see. I just hope that one way or another, people get to know about the coolness, like the cool updates. And I don't know, other than recertification, how you really get that information out there. Because again, back to free agent, I'm like my confidence has increased on it because I've seen some coolness in the last recertification. I actually did it on my birthday, right? That's how sad I was. On 23rd of February, sat there and I did my recertification for free agent, and I was like, oh, they've solved this and this, but they didn't mention about some of the other issues that I have with them, right? So I'm still not 100% convinced that for certain clients and for everything else it's the right fit. And recertification is that way of them. They're almost trying to resell the product to me, right? Like that's how, to me, how important I see recertification.
Cool. Yeah, as you say, like it was always that time of year where those that don't keep up to date find out about stuff, and I don't feel that that's been done well at all this year. I mean, Stephanie's put in the comments, so let's just have a look at our comments. So Ronan says, good morning, folks. Nice to see others working on a bank holiday. Always here on a bank holiday. We're always, doesn't matter what type of Monday it is.
We're here for Christmas Day, I think. I mean, that's where we draw the line, wasn't it? Or was it
in a 6-year freak? That's fine. Stephanie says, one word for QuickBooks recertification. Ugh. Yeah, that's generally the feeling I've been getting.
It's a shame, like, because their team is like, I know the team inside out, like they're brilliant, and what they did is a good piece of training. I just feel like they were kind of pushed into a corner of having to produce a particular type of content and couldn't do the normal wow factor, right?
It's just, once again, the cogs of QuickBooks missing the mark, and it's been getting worse and worse for the last year for this. We see problem after problem with missed opportunities, etc. Like, I would love to stand here and be positive about things with QuickBooks, but I can't be, because I've not got anything that excites me or to be positive about. So, yeah.
And I think Steph even saying that's one of the biggest kind of pain points, because this was their opportunity to wow her. Like, she's obviously a Xero fan. I think she has one client on QuickBooks, so she keeps up to date with QuickBooks, but it's almost a reluctance for her because she's such a sage fangirl, right?
Steph's got one client on QuickBooks. Most people wouldn't bother with any of the QuickBooks content because of that. But Steph went to QuickBooks Go, whatever they get connected, whatever they're calling it this week. And she came away going, ugh. She wasn't impressed. She's just done recertification. She's not impressed. Like, she can't be the only one. She's not the only one. Like, someone that used to be constantly impressed by QuickBooks hasn't been impressed for a very long time.
Yeah, and I definitely see, like, because I still do the Xero recertification, and that, that makes me walk away with a sour taste, right? Because of the way it's implemented. Because, one year I just used equivalent ChatGPT to answer all my questions for me, right? Like that's not the right attitude and the right way. But that's an opportunity for Xero to win me over. Like, if they have an amazing recertification, my head gets turned, because they can show me that this is why this new font's so good, right? Like, or whatever their update that they're talking about, right? Like, that's what the power recertification can be. So yeah, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think it is what it is. There's reasons for it.
I mean, it's simple things though, like as Stephanie says in the comments, the fact that it didn't update MTD ITSA to MTD IT, it's a minor thing, but actually, when you're a detail-orientated profession, QuickBooks should be leading software companies have been told it's your responsibility to help educate the accounting and bookkeeping industry on this major change. You're going to profit from this by getting all these tools and everyone's being made to use these tools. So you've got a responsibility to help educate. And their current education is using terminology that's been out of date for months. It's a minor thing, but actually it falls under the magnifying glass of, if you can't get the terminology right, how can I trust that you're going to get the filing part right and the deadlines right? Like, I'm sure it's all in hand, but come on, keep your terminology up to date.
Yeah.
And how long was the recertification process in the approval stage that meant that this information was right at the time they recorded it, and then it's been released and it's no longer right?
Yeah. And it's like back to the ICAW conference, right? Like, Chris Downey did an amazing job of giving us value. Like, we learned so much from it. And yes, he incorporated his product and he showed off the best bits of his product, but he also gave us actual value from it. Whereas, especially the Xero side of things, like, it was a hard sell on, oh, look, this is the process of filing your MTD return. I'm not being funny, but you're talking to a bunch of chartered accountants. Like, we fully expect that's how we're going to file a MTD return. We don't really need to see. And let's be honest, in 8 months' time, 9 months' time, whatever time frame we got now, it's going to change, right? Like, showing us now isn't value to us. What's value to us is how you're going to help us file all of our clients. So what tools have you got? And like even in there, that they from a QuickBooks point of view, they were focusing on bank rules and all this other, but they didn't show off their, but in my opinion, their crown jewel, their MTD it's a product, which is QuickBooks Sole Trader, right? Show off the AI goodness, show off that bit, like show us that bit of how, for those clients who really don't want to get digitalized, or here's a product where it's set and forget for them, very much like Metal and Free Agent connection, right? Like show off those bits. Xero literally has nothing to show off other than simple start, simple something,
yeah.
right?
Xero Simple, yeah.
Yeah, Xero Simple. Which even now we're still really confused about what their USP is, what they bring into the table other than a cheaper version, right? Because it just seems like a more cost-effective version. That's all they're really bringing to it. Where your QuickBooks, you say, especially, Sage again, they blew us away with, look how the AI can help gather the data for you. Look how it can do this. Like they're showing us why that product is going to help solve a pain point. QuickBooks should be showing us how their product can solve pain points, right? Like that's the bit where I feel like we're missing at the moment, and when we need to celebrate the product for strengths. I'm the first person to find all the warts of it, right? And I will find those warts time and time again. But also we've got to be proud of the products we've got, and for them to sell it, like that's what they've got to do. I feel like at the moment, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm so critical on their products that they've got they're feeling like, oh no, it's not ready or whatever. But they've got to show those things, don't they?
You are so critical now in itself is a concern, because you were such a supporter and a defender of QuickBooks, as I was at one point.
Yeah.
Your patience has lasted a lot longer than mine, put it that way. But I have a lot of concerns at the moment, like to the point that we are actively looking at our whole client base and going, is this the right product for them? Are we convinced that the direction that QuickBooks wants to take this product in is right for our clients?
Yeah.
Like, I cancelled 15 licenses last month from QuickBooks, which never normally, a year ago, it was only add. Now it's drop. Right. And yeah, Stephanie agrees with me in the comments. It's a huge red flag if the QuickBooks chap is falling out of love with QuickBooks. So let's see if we can bring some love back to QuickBooks. You've done a video which I've not had.
Before that, let's go to community because we've got loads of questions coming in. Let's.
None of them are relevant. I think they're all. So you've done a video which it's on my list of things to watch today, because that's what Bank Holiday Mondays are for. I'm going to sit in the office, get a load of tax returns done while watching rubbish on YouTube. And one of those things I'm going to watch on YouTube, not that it's going to be rubbish, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Is Jax versus Intuit Assist. Your latest video. How's the video doing? Has it got traction?
Yeah, doing well. Performing well. Got my nice big login. So if anyone's ever done YouTube before, you get these balloons when you do a 1 out of 10. So that's always good.
Yes,
isn't it?
Nice.
Always good to see. But yeah, no, it's a good video. It's an interesting video as well, because as I keep saying, like for me, the whole AI side of things is going to be, well, my opinion is it's the next big thing. We've had cloud accounting as that big culture shock change for us as accountant industry. Here we've got the idea for Intuit for AI to come into play as well, and we need to be wowed. Like we need to be wowed. We've had this before. I actually played around with it the other day on. If you remember on QuickBooks Self-Employed, when they had that QuickBooks Assistant and you had that little chat box in the top and you spoke to it and you could ask it questions and it convert. They've actually disabled that now because they're sunsetting the product, right? But I wanted to go back to it and have a look at it, because that was the exact example of we played with it once or twice and never looked at it again because it didn't do anything for us, right?
No value add again.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we need, everyone needs to learn from those sort of mistakes, and they need to give us a product that we're going to be wowed at. That's the only way it's going to get traction. So Jack's finally on one of my licenses. I wonder why they they didn't give it me from day one. Wonder why. I mean, you can watch the video. I was just frustrated by it all the time. I was trying to go at it like I wanted to go at it as a particular way. I wanted to go at it as right. This is how Zero can start winning me over, right? Show me what your AI capabilities are going to be. And I just feel like they've released it way too soon. And the problem you've got is people will, even the biggest fanboys and girls are going to use it and then forget about it because it's going to just not do what they want. And I've got examples in there of me asking it questions.
Not a value add.
Yeah, and it came back with, I think that's out of my capabilities. Okay,
just
right.
Preface the experiment that you did for us. So you use Jax as it is in Zero today in the UK.
Yeah.
And you compared that to
the US Intuit
Assist, which is publicly available. It's not in beta anymore in the US, is it?
Exactly. So every license now has access to Intuit Assist in the US. In the UK, it's still a beta, so we're not allowed to talk about it, etc., 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 blah, blah, blah. But the US product's fully available. So if you've got a US license, and they're really, really easy to get hold of, literally just go to Intuit, go to US and fill out the form, and you've got yourself a license, right? So readily available. And I was trying to compare apples to apples, right? Like, let's do the same prompt in Intuit versus the same prompt in Jax. I won't spoil the video, but it's clear to see one of them wowed me and still has other functions that we didn't even get to include in the video, right? And there were still other functions we could have done and still other elements to it. Jax neat. The only thing I would say about Jax that I see a future of is their WhatsApp integration. So the fact you can do it out of the product. I think that's a really clever thing around. I think a lot of people will find that really useful, right? Is that right? Let's send off a request to set up an invoice because I've just remembered it. Oh, I'm not invoiced XYZ for so and so and so and so. Send a WhatsApp off to your assistant, your Jax assistant. Love that. I think that's a great idea, and I think that's something that Intuit Assist, Sage, and everyone else don't have at the moment. So I feel like that's something that they're going to see that, and I assume innovate over time. And that's what we need. We need each one of them to outpace the other, don't we? We need each one to go about it a different way and bring something to the table so that overall, as we keep saying, we will win out of this because we're going to have a product that's going to be better because they're going to learn off one another. But other than that, I found nothing of Jax that just made me go, okay, I need to keep an eye on this. I need to understand this more. And that's my worry, because that was their chance to win me over, right? That's a chance for them to make me become more of a Zero user. And they didn't do that. And I just wish they'd have just held up. Like, what have they gained from rushing it through? Like, what do they gain from that?
Yeah, and I mean, I think my hope for Jax is that they integrate the SIF Analytics AI into it, because the SIF Analytics AI adds so much value to my business on a daily basis. It's phenomenal. It was done well, very conversational, etc. But the more and more I play with it, the more and more I'm convinced AI is definitely the way forward, both in work and outside of work. Like you and I were talking on this morning about the fact that Meta have launched in the US. It will come to the UK in the coming weeks. Their rival to ChatGPT, and they're billing it as like your personal assistant, not a personal assistant that you think of in the workplace that does all your admin and stuff, but what the millionaires out there have is a personal assistant of, don't forget it's so and so's birthday, or so and so celebrating this on Facebook. Like that AI having access to your Facebook, your Instagram, your WhatsApp, etc. Like, even like I could walk into a shop and go, oh, so and so recommended this when they were last here, or so and so your group chat was referencing this top item on the menu of this restaurant that when Bob went here last. Like, that's all quite cool stuff.
Yeah,
and that will all be powered through. I mean, their main interface will be their Ray-Ban glasses, from what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
and then next Quest, like whatever that's called, Quest 4, I assume.
Yeah, although I'm not going to be walking around with one of those on my head in public.
I walked around Daz in a Vision Pro and got no funny looks whatsoever.
That's because you couldn't see.
Maybe. I don't believe anyone looked at me a funny look.
I saw the pictures on Facebook. Look at this clown walking around.
Who does he think he is?
Yeah. But yeah, AI is definitely the future. And the problem is when companies keep releasing like AI tools that don't meet expectations and don't fulfill the criteria of what we need it to be applicable and usable in life, is A, the naysayers get ammunition.
Yeah.
But B, the ones of us that are encouraged by the product and the concept go to use it once, don't like the results, aren't happy with the value, and then we walk away.
Yeah.
And we don't go back to revisit it.
And I think as well, being really critical about Zero's approach, like they're already on the back foot because they don't have the ecosystem. One of the most exciting things for me about Intuit Assist is not actually QuickBooks, it's what they can do in MailChimp. Because I generally think, like, if you're going to wow any client, if you can say, oh, by using this little AI feature in MailChimp, you're going to X time your sales because it's going to understand that you need to, sell at this time, and these are when your discounts have been, these are the seasonal, and it's going to look at those trends for you and all that sort of stuff that you'd love to be able to help clients with on a day-to-day basis, but we just don't have the time to do it, right? But if we can have an AI tool that can connect to it, and maybe we can analyze it on their behalf and help them push it through. But like seeing a tangible result of them having more sales or more this, or that to me is where you go, wow, that's going to really, really, really like impress you and wow your clients. That sells the product way more than any of the other bells and whistles that are there. And I think like we saw it from Sage as well, their idea that AI from an accountant's point of view is going to help us request information much easier, right? We can automatically ask it, and then it can, not only that, it can then process the information that's there and make sure it's relevant for what it, if you've asked for a P60 and they've sent you in last year's, like not the current year but the year before, the AI can automatically go back and say, whoa, no, that's the wrong one. Like, no, we need this version of it. Yeah, it might not even be released yet. You might have to wait until this date or whatever it's going to be, right? That's where AI wows us and goes, right, that's what we need to implement in our business. Like, drop everything else. Let's get this bit in. Let's get it into our workflow and let's move it in. Jax hasn't done that. And Jax is nowhere near doing that. And they need more than anything because they can't rely on the ecosystem, right? They can't rely on it. They need that to wow us from the off at the thing. They need, like, honestly, I think they need to pull it for now, go back to the kitchen and bring it back again. I don't see another way for them to get people to think, and even that's going to be hard, right? We already know that your second chance is always going to be more difficult.
Yeah. Catherine says that kind of AI, referencing the Meta one, is an absolute no from me. We don't even have an Alexa. The problem is, right, so we have Alexa, and I now don't break my neck on the way down the stairs at night because of Alexa. So I whisper to Alexa, turn on the lounge light when the dog's whinging at 2:00 in the morning. That way I've got enough light to get down the stairs without breaking my neck. Whereas beforehand, I'd have to try and get down the stairs and then turn the light on. So health and safety for me. Or you sit down on the sofa, you recline, and then you realise, I left the kitchen light on. You just tell Alexa to do it. Like, far more effective way of working in my mind. But yeah, it's all going to be down to, as everything is in life, there's a perception of risk. There is risk in data control. Of course there is. And it's down to what you're comfortable with in your own life. And, if Catherine doesn't want to have Alexa and personal AI, that's her choice. That's fine. We shouldn't think that she's old-fashioned because of it, in the same way she shouldn't hold us to account for using it, if that makes sense. I would just remind everyone to stop thanking all of their AI products because it's costing millions of dollars a day, and it's ruining the environment because the amount of energy it takes to understand thank you. So stop being polite to the robots.
I'll have to say at the PQ Awards, I was using ChatGPT for some. I think we were trying to figure out what a particular instrument was, and I said thank you afterwards as well. And straight away, I was like, oh no,
No. Cost them more money, wasting more energy.
And then may have said sorry, not sorry when afterwards.
Brilliant. Right. Well, that brings us up to 9:30 on this Bank Holiday Monday.
It does. Let's just quickly shout out people who we didn't get a chance to talk through. Willie, good morning to Willie. Hope you're doing well. I used QuickBooks for Lyft. It was great. And Marion, Tim, it's good to see you, Marion. Looking at make a career change and everything else. So yeah, great. Thank you for putting some information in there, and Fatima as well. Fortunately, we ran out of time, but if you come back this time next week, we will sure to try and bring you into the conversation.
Oh yes. Right. Well, I'm getting conflicted. Like I can see from over this side, the sun is shining. I can also see over that side, there's a dark grey ominous cloud. So I'm going to go and live bank holiday like you live every bank holiday in Scotland, unknowing as to whether you're going to get sunburn or drowned.
Well, easy solution. Get the barbecue out. Guaranteed rain then, isn't it?
Very true.
The whole of Scotland will sit there complaining at you.
Bloody Johann had a bloody barbecue.
He knew how dangerous it was.
You don't tempt fate like that. But yes. Right. Anyway, Aaron, what have you got coming up in the week ahead, apart from a bank holiday day today?
Yeah, really interesting week coming up. We are as a group, the Bofix group, and it's our extended family. We've made quite an important acquisition, and we're going down to them on Tuesday to kind of start the ball rolling of
nice
synergies and all that sort of stuff. So really exciting. So looking forward to that. And then really from my point of view, it's getting ready for a little thing called Accountex, which we got a special episode next week. We haven't spoken to someone about figuring out exactly if they're involved in or not. Maybe we need to do that.
Take it that's not in my diary yet.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to get that involvement in. But yeah, it's all go. I mean, I tell you one thing. I don't think they're here. The new Top Trumps cards have arrived. Nice. We have new people to the roster. We have updated photos and updated blurbs for people as well. So this is the year for you to get involved in Top Trump. So get yourself down there. And remember, we're going to be playing our game as well. So see if you can get yourself on the leaderboard.
Fantastic. I have got a relatively quiet week. I need to charge all the batteries and charge all the cameras ready for next week. But yeah, all good. So as always, guys, we will see you here next week at 8:30 a.m. on the Monday, ready and raring to go to talk all things industry in the accounting and bookkeeping world. And who knows, we might have more positive news. We might have things we're impressed by.
I mean, next week's going to be an account tech special. So how can you not be positive about
exactly that? Come along, come and find out everything we're looking forward to. Come along and start planning your trip to Accountex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might as well finish on this one final comment. Catherine says, "But what about when the robots take over?" We'll just let you simmer on that.
But the robots need a world to take over. If we've destroyed the world by using all the energy resources by saying thank you, then the robots won't take over.
I'm just saying, I'm clear. Like, I say thank you so many times to all the different ones. But we'll see. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a good week, and we'll see you at the same time, same place next week. Bye for now.
See you next week.